But speaking of that, man, with the players and just the hierarchy and just a lot of the weird situation with a lot of these NBA teams, do you think because of the global talent pool coming into the league, just a lot of teams having, you see the way New Orleans Pelicans, the way they got rid of Dyson Daniels, and we're seeing the large impact that he has on the Atlanta Hawks. The
Yeah.
Pelicans was just so crowded with so many, defensive wings. Just the league is now with an influx of talent. Do you think the complementary co-stars are
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't want to say on the same level as the kind of guys that are on the fringe of being stars, but do you think the league right now, that like gap is getting a lot closer?
Well, no, I think we saw that with 2021. We saw that with 2019, and we saw that with 2019 championship, 2021 championship, and I'll say 2023 championship. We saw that where it seems like complementary stars have really closed in the gap between like the second all star on your team.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Mhm.
yeah, because I like Drew, like Chris Middleton and Holiday are all stars, but they're not like fringe all stars. They're not like guys you mentioned like everyday stars. Like if I were to sit with you and like tell you to name me like the best option in the league, you're gonna name me for the past decade. You're gonna name me Paul George. You're gonna name me Russell Westbrook. You're gonna name me Chris Paul. You're not gonna name Chris Middleton, Jamal Murray, Drew Holiday, those kind of guys, Kyle Lowry. You're not really naming those guys. But I think as the time progresses, you're seeing teams much more built around like they're starting seven guys who can maybe switch around and kind of become a second option. So one game will be like, I don't know, Giannis and Drew Holiday. Another game it could be Chris Middleton and Holiday, Chris Middleton and Giannis. It'll be Giannis in a rotation of second, third options who can fill in that hole of taking over the scoring load. I'm saying is not kind of seeing the change of like the main superstar and kind of like two B tier players kind of filling in that role. Because I thought Denver, like Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon, were great complementary pieces to Jokic during that 2023 championship run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were. They were.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, like a lot of players. I mean, you just look at the teams right now. The Knicks, the way you know,
OG's playing.
yeah, the way Golden State found all these players and they're better
Yeah.
utilizing them. What are other teams? The Minnesota Timberwolves, uh,
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, it just seems like
Yeah.
the talent pool is a lot better now, and it's gonna be hard for the league going forward in the future to actually have a superstar that's gonna dominate all these guys. Like
Yeah.
I think the whole marketing of this whole Michael Jordan solo act or slash Kobe Bryant or LeBron James solo act, I think the league eventually is gonna have to pivot away from that because the talent is gonna be so good. You got to be a hell of a player to
Mhm.
actually just dominate on your own like that. It's just the league
Your
just doesn't operate like that anymore.
your 1 through 7 lineups could be stars in any other team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
it's
Peyton Pritchard and who's that other white dude from off their bench? Peyton Pritchard and
oh
man,
Sam Hauser.
Sam Hauser, they could be starters on any other team. You know what I mean? That's just how the NBA is going to construct. I think it's a I think it's a good thing because I think teams are gonna not look for super teams. Because you're looking at Philadelphia, you got three guys on max, but your team fucking sucks.
You see, they constructed their team off of the old way, which is the
Yeah,
LeBron, Wade, big three, the Celtics big three with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. That's the old way. I feel like the new way is that you find a nice late first round pick that's a gem, second round picks that are going to be gems coming out of college, maybe a 4-year player, and then you have kind of your superstar, and then you have like two co-stars, and that's how you build
yeah,
your team. You can look at the Boston Celtics, the way they're constructed with Derek White, Drew Holiday. They got, like you said, Hauser, Pritchard coming off the bench. They just got so many guys. Al Horford. And then you look at Oklahoma City Thunder, the way that team is constructed. Wow. They drafted
yeah,
most of these guys. They
yeah,
drafted most of these guys. And then look, they went and grabbed fucking Isaiah Hartenstein, which is a perfect piece, a perfect fit. And Isaiah Hartenstein is not like a top draft pick, but right now, this is what he does. the basketball smarts on the defensive end, knowing where to be, how to position himself, the way he throws picks, the way he, vertically he protects the rim. That shit is fucking valuable. It's almost like the league right now got a bunch of Draymond Greens running around. Like, you don't know, like, oh, where the hell did he come from? Oh, his basketball IQ is there. Like, oh, he's utilizing the game, he's reading the game, and this motherfucker's effective. There's a lot of people like that. Look at Jalen Brunson, 2nd round pick, styling right now. Like this is gonna be the norm.
Look at Tari Eason and Amin Thompson and in Houston too, bro.
Yeah,
those guys are hustling off the bench.
It's just, the league right now is crowded. It's so crowded right now. I asked myself, right, looking at next year's draft, it's supposed to be a star-studded draft, it's supposed to be deep.
Yeah.
How many teams are left for these guys to get drafted to have the freedom to just come in and take a bunch of shots and be the guy? Because there's not a lot of teams in the NBA where that's the case right now.
The only teams I could think of is Utah. Because I think Utah, if hypothetically, I think they're gonna draft this Cooper Flag guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna get the green light regardless, but he's still gonna be surrounded around decent talent like Colin Sexton if he's still on the team, John Collins, Lauri Markkanen. Well, Lauri's granted gonna be on the team.
True, but even in Utah, there's room there. And there's also room, I believe. What other team there's room?
But mind you, Utah got a lot of talent too on their team.
Yeah, they do.
Despite being trash.
They do.
Yeah.
There's room in Utah and in Brooklyn. And Brooklyn. Yeah. But even Brooklyn with Cam Thomas, if they can't find a way to move him, that kind of crowds it up a little bit. They got the Johnson guy. Was it Cam Johnson too? It's not that wide open as it used to be. And then you look at the teams that are kind of at the bottom. The Bulls, there might be some room over there in Chicago too, but then you look at Detroit, there's really not that much room. They got a lot of guys they drafted that's sitting there. And then you look at Charlotte. Okay, let's say Charlotte somehow gets into the lottery game. You got Brandon Miller, you got LaMelo Ball, and then you got
Miles Bridges.
And then you got you got Miles Bridges with the pimp hand. He's not gonna let you get all those fucking shots. He's not gonna let you do it.
Trey Man, you got a lot of guys over there just hoping to score the ball.
Yeah, even in Washington, it's kind of you got Fashion over Kuzma. You got Jordan Poole. He's like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm just gonna shoot anyway. I'm gonna take this bad shot.
Bob Connaughton.
Yeah. And then you got Alex Sarr. So it's crowded. So you're looking at oh, I'm a top 5 pick, but where am I going that I'm just gonna come in and not get put into the Jabari Smith fucking junior role in Houston? There's a lot of dudes that's gonna get caught in that. Like, oh, I'm trying to get my money, but I can't get my shots.
Like even Orlando, when they restarted 2019. Like for a rebuilding team, they're very quick to kind of bounce back into becoming a playoff team.
True. And look at Orlando's crowded as fuck too.
Yeah, Orlando is crowded, bro. Just in their big man spot, like Goga and Wendell Carter, they're both talented guys.
Mm-hmm. And another weird part of this is that the teams that are not really as crowded, they're too top heavy, like the Phoenix Suns. They're too top heavy. Philadelphia is too top heavy, but they gotta after the top 3. There's a lot of room after that, but they can't really. They're not gonna be able to draft no top guys.
No,
it's weird. Even Indiana's crowded. Like every team is fucking crowded. Where are all these rookies coming in gonna have the breathing room to shine? And then at the same time, you got LeBron. These players are aging and they're still staying in the league.
Yeah,
we've never seen the whole NBA like this before. This is very unique. Even San Antonio, my bad. San Antonio, I forgot to throw them out there.
Crowded.
They're crowded. Vessel, you got Castle on the come up.
Wembanyama, obviously. You have what's that? Wembanyama. You got even Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes having a career year this year.
Yeah. Hey, some of these
Jeremy
guys.
Sohan.
Sohan, I forgot about Sohan. Some of these guys coming into the league, they better save their NIL checks because, after that 4th year, I don't know if they're gonna be getting max contracts because Good luck getting that when you have only what 12 shots per game to take because your team is just
Bro,
so crowded.
dude, you have to look. If you're gonna get paid, you have to show a lot of potential, like Franz Wagner or Scotty Barnes, because now we're even seeing like Jalen Green and Sengun. They didn't get paid as much as their peers.
Nope. It's just, man, what if this is done on purpose? Like, this is the way the ownership kind of knew the league was going. They seen the influx of talent coming in. They made the CBA kind of tight. They're taking advantage of like older stars kind of staying in the league. And now they could flatten out the line where everyone almost makes the same amount.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, you don't want to
wait,
beg
hold on,
on.
my bad. I feel like there's multiple ways these owners are finessing this new CBA to kind of keep team salaries low, because owning a team right now is expensive as fuck. It's really expensive.
I mean, even a championship list team like the Hornets, they had to pay $1 billion just to buy.
True. And then now, guys are slowly getting into the real estate game and owning an NBA team at the same time. So it's a lot going on in the league. The local TV money's running dry. That pot kind of is done. So I don't know. It's a weird situation. Like, look at the Houston Rockets' third overall pick, Shepherd, coming off the bench. Like, how is he gonna prove his value being a third overall pick, having a good summer league?
Yeah.
And it's like his team is crowded.
He's gonna be forced to leave Houston.
Him and Jabari. And man, that team is just so crowded. I'm telling you, even the Raptors, they just signed quickly. They just, they got RJ extended.
Barrett.
They got, Barnes.
Gary Dick's having a career year.
Yo, I'm surprised Dick had enough breathing room to shine.
Yeah. But I think Dick's game is just like, it's simple, right? It's just spot up threes.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you're hitting them, you're gonna get a spot on the team.
Yeah, look at Jonathan Kuminga. Like, I know he's tight right now. Like, you seeing what's his name, Buddy Hield, shine. Like, yeah, guys are shining out here. Like, if you're a top, if you're a lottery pick and you're kind of struggling the first couple of years, there may be a few guys that are kind of on the fringe of being a minimum player or just out of the league. They could come in and just end up shining and getting a good deal.
Also, I think a lot of guys will probably choose to do the full 2 to 3 years in college by then too.
Yeah, or they might actually time, when they should come into the league. They might look at which teams are sucking, and then they'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna declare for the draft now.
Because like Jaime Hawkins Jr., right? Last year's rookie. He came after his third year. He's 21, a much more developed body as compared to an 18, 19-year-old. And he's able to make an impact instantly in Miami Heat, a team that's very crowded.
Yeah, beautiful example you just brought up, Jaime.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jaime Hawkins. There's just a lot of late round picks that are shining out here in the NBA. Yeah. And it's like, hey, if you're a lottery, if you're a lottery pick right now, do you think they have less time to prove themselves?
100%. Because I don't see a world. I think a lot of these teams are no longer drafting on potential anytime soon.
No, I don't see it
but
either.
I think a lot of these teams will draft complete talent, like guys who they view as complete talent.
Yeah, I mean, this all of this could actually kind of speed up the process of teams rebuilding themselves. Because in the NBA, maybe they're trying to be like the NFL, where it's just like, a team could be worse, and then they replenish during the draft, a couple of free agents, and they're right back in the game.
Yeah.
Like, that turnaround would be nice for the NBA.
Some teams are too lazy with the rebuild, bro. Like, Washington Wizards been a 5-year rebuild.
Yeah, it's a little bit too long. I know Adam Silver is working on that, because that's not good going into that new TV deal where they need the NBA to pop on that television, boy. They need that shit to pop off.
The Charlotte Hornets are on a 5-year rebuild. No excuse.
Yeah. And they have talent. They have talent on their team, man. Bridges, Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller is coming through. I see Brandon Miller he played in the California Classic. He played in Summer League again. these
But
guys,
Grant
man.
Williams got injured. He's out for the season, so their depth is fucked.
Yeah, they got unlucky with that. You look at Minnesota. Minnesota's competing. They're deep. That team is deep.
Yeah. Bro, even that one kid, Rob Dillingham, he doesn't have the time to really shine.
He doesn't. Oh, my bad. Going back to the Hornets, they have that French kid coming off the bench, the 6th overall
Who,
pick.
diabetes?
What's his name?
Is it diabetes?
I'm not sure. I forgot his name. He's kind of light skinned, French dude, 6th overall pick.
Oh, Salon.
Yeah, he's coming off the bench on their team. So
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off the bench.
So
a lot of guys.
he's a perfect example of what we're talking about. 6th overall pick. You come into a team with like 3 other guys already getting all the shots.
Yeah.
So this
4
is...
other guys now. You also got Trey Mann.
Oh yeah, Trey. Oh, look at that. Wait, Trey Mann. Let me see. When did what pick is he?
He's from Oklahoma.
But
And he was for like Trey Mann couldn't get minutes in Oklahoma, mind you.
Oh, he couldn't get minutes in Oklahoma.
No, he was the 18th pick, couldn't get minutes in Oklahoma.
Let me see his draft status. First
He was
round,
the 18th pick overall.
Yeah, 18th pick overall. Wow.
And that's a role player career, and he couldn't get minutes.
So you see, again, the rookies, they're fighting off the star players. They're fighting off the rookies that were in front of them that didn't get the minutes. Now they're coming on. Now they come into the league. They're battling all these guys, and then they're battling the role players that all of a sudden they move to a team, and now all of a sudden they're shining. That's how much talent is coming into the league. And then at the same time, the global pool. You have players coming in from different countries. There's just a lot of... I wouldn't be shocked if in a couple of years someone else opens up a
But I
different
feel like
league.
with the CBA, like for whatever reason, these players shot themselves in the foot. Like I don't know who was representing these players, but they did a horrible job.
They did. They really got finessed by the owners. I think they saw the revenue split. I think it's 51%.
Yeah.
The players, they get the revenue, but the owners is like, we set it up so you might not even be able to cash your checks or even cash out on your value. You look at Julius Randle, you look at John Collins in Utah. There's a lot of players up for contracts where it's like it's questionable if they're gonna get another deal. Brandon Ingram, it goes on and on and on. Some of these guys, it's weird because they're valuable, but they can't cash out because everybody else is like, oh, we're scared of the second apron, which might be an excuse. Being like, imagine if all the owners collaborate and say like, oh, we're not touching the second apron. They're just telling their GMs that, but meanwhile behind closed doors they all say like, yo, none of us is touching that second apron, and that's how they're gonna get that like revenue share to actually swing back their way.
Yeah.
Like it's weird the way I'm telling you, man, the league is gonna be super fucking interesting, man, next couple of years. It's going to be super interesting. And at the same time, they eliminated player movement. They got rid of that.
Yeah.
They got rid of that.
I mean, dude, look at Paul George's contract. I'm going to be honest. Paul George is not a star anymore. I think Paul George isn't that elite of a defender anymore. Paul George isn't that elite of a scorer anymore. And you pay all that money for a guy like that, what's the point? You're better off paying for role players on your team like the Golden State Warriors did. You get a shit ton of role players, and the Warriors are the 2nd seed, while Philadelphia is on the bottom of their C conference.
Philadelphia. Like you said, man, the good teams being at the bottom, it's just it's a weird. The league is in a weird spot. Look at Atlanta. They got the top pick, and they just made one move, and they're really, even though people think Trae Young should leave, they're really right back in the game.
I don't see a reason why Trae Young should leave.
Yeah,
I know I
he
wrote
doesn't
an
have to
article about
leave.
Trae Young leaving. I know I wrote an article about Trae Young leaving, but right now, the NBA isn't really settled right now, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't really go based off record right now because there's a lot more breathing room. But like, I don't really see a reason for Trae Young wanting to leave.
Yeah.
Unless they want him to go. But other than that, I think they put a perfectly sound team around him. Jalen Johnson isn't a talented scorer, but he can do everything else. Ricochet, he's a good role player. I don't really see why he'd want to leave.
Yeah, it wouldn't. One other team we forgot to mention that actually does have a lot of breathing room. Well, in a way, they really don't. The Blazers. What do you think? You think they have enough breathing room for a rookie to come in and get shots up?
No, I think they have a lot of talent, bro.
Man, yeah, they got that center, and Scoot Henderson not Scoot is not utilizing his window, man. Scoot's window is a lot shorter than what he thinks. Oh
Yeah,
man,
I mean, dude, unless from that draft class, if you're not Brennan Miller, Wembanyama, you're not Chet Holm. I guess Chet Holmgren is not. No, he's not in that rookie class, but he played for the Rookie of the Year that year. So we're looking at 2023 draft NBA. Let me see some players who I could say like, really has really solidified themselves, because I can only name those two really.
see, and that,
Yeah, if you're not,
go
yeah,
ahead.
if you're not like if you're not Victor Wembanyama, if you're not Brandon Miller, I don't really see you like solidified really like that. Like I see your window kind of cutting short. Like I think a lot of role players, like obviously Ben Shepherd of Indiana. I think guys like Keontae George, depending on how he plays in Utah. Right now he's kind of in and off. Jaime Hawkins and Pods. Those are the only guys I could say has like breathing room in the league right now. And they're role players. They're not stars. The only guys I could say star-wise or top 3 lottery pick is Victor and Brandon Miller. Like those are the clear-cut guys who have breathing room.
True. Wow. And that's not a lot. That's not
No.
that's not a lot compared to the talent coming in.
Yeah.
But again,
And like
go
the
ahead.
Thompson brothers, I forgot them. They're also on that list.
Yeah, their defense allows them to have
Yeah.
that breathing room. And that's where a lot of these lottery picks they need to come in complete. They better not come in thinking that it's just all about scoring, because that's an easy way to kind of be out of this mix of trying to cash in on your
100%.
talent.
Because I'm looking at it like Jarris Walker. He's not getting much minutes in Indiana. Jet Howard started to get minutes recently. Anthony Black was on and off. Grady Dick's a role player, a quality sharpshooter. But other than that, it's not much to be like crazy or go home about, if that makes sense. Julian Strother is solid for Denver. And that's about it, really. Like it's just solid role players, a lot of these guys that have been able to like find their roles. Like I think the most consistent role players, the Thompson brothers, Grady Dick, those are the guys you could say are really consistent role players.
Wow. This is real interesting. Those agents for some of those guys, man, they might be going crazy here, because we're gonna probably hear more of people saying, "Oh, this guy worked out for this team, but he didn't show up for this workout. Oh, he didn't come to this workout." Like I feel like a lot of players they're going to be avoiding a lot of teams, man, a lot of teams. Because even right now, let's just check out the standings. Teams
Like,
that
let's say
are
you're a wing player, right? And you have the potential to go to Orlando. Would you want to go to Orlando?
no way.
Exactly.
No way. If I want
Because
to
now you're competing
maximize my
with
talent, no way.
Because now you're competing with Benchero, clear cut like star of the team, right? You're competing with
Suggs.
Franz Wagner, a star, and you're competing with Jonathan Isaac, who's another wing guy, who's at this point a veteran who brings a ton of defense, and Jet Howard, who's been able to get minutes.
Yeah,
Like you don't have much breathing room.
And what's his name? Black is gonna get minutes too, because he plays good defense,
Yeah.
so he's gonna get minutes
Black's
too.
getting minutes. That's why I mentioned him. He's getting minutes now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it like you go to San Antonio. If you go to San Antonio, Pop is gonna not really. Pop doesn't really put players, unless like your Wemby level, in prime position to get paid like that. You have to go through you have to develop your whole game.
But even Keldon Johnson on the San Antonio Spurs, he's found his role becoming much more a minimum.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure his agent's not happy about that, because he was almost averaging like 20 a game.
And he was a transition to the rebuild too, mind you. He was in the DeJounte Murray era.
And then you look at the Pelicans. I mean, even though Zion is probably more than likely not gonna work out, if you're a young rookie, I don't know if you want to go. Even that team is kind of crowded in a way. They got because they're invested in Zion. Sells tickets down there, so they're gonna be invested in him regardless. And you're always gonna be like you never really know who's your teammates. Like, is Zion gonna play? Is he not gonna play? And when he does play,
and when Zion plays, he's having the ball majority of the time in his hands.
Majority of the time.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you got all those 3-and-D wings down there. It's like
So you're playing on the Zion show. It's just what it is.
Yeah, the Zion show where you stand on the sidelines
Yeah.
and you don't know if the show is gonna be on time night from night. Like it's
Yeah.
weird. It's a weird thing down there. I don't know what the hell's
Yeah.
going on.
So okay, let me ask. I think Denver would be the most ideal if you're a role player.
It would be, but let's say if you're a role player where your talent is top 10 in the draft, you're not gonna fall to
Okay, but let's say
Denver.
you're an elite off-ball player, right? Why wouldn't you want to go Denver?
But how are you going to Denver as a free agent? I'm because we're talking about the rookies coming in, having
Oh, lottery picks,
yeah,
lottery picks.
yeah, going to
Okay,
yeah.
okay, I got
That's
you.
a conundrum. You're top 10, you're top 14. You want to go to a team where you could be put in a position to best maximize your skills to get paid the most, and it's like a lot of the teams that are in that position don't really have breathing rooms. Right now, we just
No,
talked
you're
about
gonna
the
have to
Jazz,
compete.
Blazers, Nets. I mean, that's if the Nets and Blazers. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really Wizards, no Bulls, 50-50. It's like where are you going
The
in today's
Bulls,
NBA?
the Bulls depends if they get rid of their veteran talent.
And that's the thing. The CBA locks them up from kind of doing that.
Yeah.
That's what
Like if you're able to get rid of Vucevic, if you're able to get rid of Lonzo Ball, if you're able to get rid of not even Lonzo really, because I think Lonzo fits with the younger guys because he's trying to find his value back.
correct.
But Zach Levine and Vucevic and um Kobe, would we put Kobe in that conversation?
Kobe's gonna get some minutes and he's gonna get his shots up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
it's
you also got that rookie European kid that's a point guard.
oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think he's number 14.
Yes, I believe
He's
so.
gonna be good. He's gonna be
Yeah,
all
I
right.
think
I like his wingspan. Yeah. That kid, he could dunk too, man. Like that kid's gonna be
yeah.
all right, man. He's gonna be all right.
What is it? Matas believe I don't know how to say his name. God bless him though.
Yeah. But hey,
Mm.
but hey, as you can see, man, like I don't know if the owners designed this in like this way for like
Yeah.
everyone to kind of be fighting, because it looks like right now everyone's fighting for like dollars right now.
Yeah.
It's weird the way the owners kind of situated this, but again, you know, these guys agreed to this. They agreed to this. And I know these owners, they have years and years of
Yeah.
people who understand contract language and how to structure things a certain way where you don't see it, you only see it in the back end. And I feel like, you know, the more years pass by, these players are going to be pissed about this new CBA. It's some other shit, man. And the fans
Because
don't
you're
even
not
understand it.
yeah.
Like
Because
they
these
made
aren't
it in a
looking to
way
spend.
that my bad. They made it in a way where the fans are not even gonna be able to keep up with this shit as easy.
Yeah. Bro, they're gonna stress over the second apron every time.
I feel like that's an excuse.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an
But I think
excuse.
it's an excuse to make owners continue to be cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an
But these
excuse.
owners don't want to spend. They don't want to spend.
Especially the new owners that purchase the teams for billions.
Bro,
Inflated prices.
look at fucking Denver. Prime example, right? You win a championship, you lose all the key role players that helped you win. Bruce Brown, you didn't want to pay him, you let him go, right?
Mhm.
You let go of Jeff Green, you let go of a lot of your players, but you still keep your top heavy players for whatever reason.
True. And then you could look at Minnesota too. They gave up on
Minnesota.
Towns, and now the
Yeah.
fit is kind of clunky. It's kind of clunky, and now you wanna trade in the draft to get more young talent around the team, and it's
Even
like,
Milwaukee became cheaper, man. Even Milwaukee is cheaper.
yeah, Milwaukee, Milwaukee, that NFL owner for the Browns, he bought that team.
Yeah, and he's known to be a little cheap.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, these guys, I mean, you know what? You know, it's another thing people overlook now that the teams are going to be running for like 8 billion, 6 billion. They're not going to get like regular billionaires buying these teams. They're looking for companies to come in
Real
and buy these
estate,
teams.
yeah. Tech, real estate companies.
Yeah, and I feel like those companies, like, they're going to come in and completely run those teams like a business.
Yeah.
They're not going to care about no championships. They're not going to, a lot of these companies, they're just going to be looking for return on investments, because the league is sort of looking into private equity. And it's like they're not into the business of, competition and making fans happy. The only thing for them is like it's either they're making money or they got return on investment or not.
Yeah.
And it's gonna change the whole league. It's gonna change the whole league. Imagine the players then. Now they got to do the CBA. Like when you see what's his name, Jaylen Brown and all these guys get together, they're gonna be talking to all this venture capital money. Like that's kind of weird.
And they're gonna take a lot of pay cuts in order to build legitimate teams. You're gonna see a lot of star players take pay cuts.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that for the past decade. You remember, like back then, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki, they used to take a lot of pay cuts.
Yeah, that hasn't happened in a while, but these guys.
And Jalen Brunson really opened the door up for that again.
He has, but we also looking at the way how the Boston Celtics going to play out, because no one really took a pay cut. Everyone kind of got paid, and we want to see how how that really plays out. How long are they going to pay that tax? Because I think next year they're going to start losing. They're not going to lose a pick, but I think their draft pick in the first round 7 years out is automatically going to be pushed to the back.
Yeah, so, but I think a guy like Kristaps Porzingis will probably eat the shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna last that long on that team. But hey, if they keep winning, I think they're gonna keep it together.
Especially like considering Porzingis is at the peak of his career, so it's all head down after this. He's what, 28, 29?
Let me see.
He's the same age as Towns. I know that they're both from the same class.
Let's see, KP.
But they're 2015 class, so he's at his 10th year in the NBA. Which, god damn, time passes by fast.
Yeah, KP. Yeah, he does. Fuck. Yeah.
Fuck. Even bro, you watch this guy develop. Time passes by quick.
Yeah, KP. Man, he spent a lot of time injured too. But yeah, at the end of the day, this was good, man. Like, it's almost like we discovered in real time, like, how things are gonna kind of shaping in this new NBA. I would say in this new technocratic streaming NBA. See.
And I think it removes the mask off the NBA, to be honest with you. Like the whole idea of NBA being that friendly, like player-friendly league, I think it's just revealed to be bullshit.
Oh, it's always been bullshit because there's no such thing as that in business.
There's no such thing as player-friendly leagues. There's no such thing as worker-friendly companies. Fuck no. Yeah. Yeah, everyone got $1.
Yeah,
everyone wants to make an extra $1.
That's always been my thing with Adam Silver, man. This whole like, playing like the nice guy role, but that's a role he's only doing on TV. Those contracts say otherwise.
He's a capitalist.
I wouldn't even say that. I would just say he works for the owners.
No, 100%, bro. The owners make sure he's paid, right? They're the ones who make sure, like, I'm saying, as long as the owners like him, he'll always get paid.
Yeah, facts.